Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking you through how I got on Penn Teller Fool Us, oh my god, and answering all your questions. So let's get started. Okay, I'm back. So here are some of the questions that people sent in about my experience on Penn Teller Fool Us. So let's go. The first question, what was the most valuable lesson you learned about the whole experience? That's a really good question. I would say for me, the most valuable lesson I learned was dealing with stress, because obviously you're in a stressful situation and you need to keep calm, and in order to do your best performance you don't want to go out stressing and thinking about every little thing that may or may not go wrong. So I definitely taught myself how to deal with stress, and I think I've also been able to put this into use in my everyday life, and now not a lot of things stress me out, which is really great. So great first question. Question number 2 is, did I get to meet Penn Teller before the performance? So no, I didn't get to meet Penn Teller before the performance, but afterwards I did. So you're not allowed to meet them beforehand. They have special rules to ensure you don't, and they always know where Penn Teller are at each time. So even when you're backstage, you will never bump into them. But yes, I got to meet Teller after the performance, which was amazing, and he shared some very kind words, so great question. How long do Penn and Teller actually talk for? Really great question, and a lot of people don't know this. Penn and Teller actually talked for over 10 minutes trying to figure out my act, which felt like forever when I was up there, but it was just crazy because I always thought they asked you 1 or 2 questions and then you were straight to talking to Penn and Teller, but no, it goes on for a really long time, so that's actually really surprising. Here's another question. How did you deal with the anxiety before going onto the stage? Really great question. So for me, I did a lot of pacing, and I was backstage with Blake Voigt, and we were just pacing up and down the room trying to hype ourselves up. He was great fun, and I'll share some backstage stories later on, but it was amazing, and I definitely found a lot of breathing exercises which my mentor Eric Leclerc, shout out to Eric, taught me before I went on, and I found them really useful. So yeah, really great question. If I had to choose a favourite between Penn and Teller, who would it be? Great question. I shouldn't really have favourites, but I think the fact that Teller took time to come backstage and talk to me afterwards was amazing, and I just think from speaking to him, he's so genuine and kind and well spoken and just very knowledgeable and very eager to share his knowledge. So I would put Teller as my favourite out of the 2, but it's a very close call, so that's a really hard question, but yeah, very good. Another question, how did I get in contact with the producers, or how did they get in contact with me? Really great question. So I sent in an audition video and an application through email, which you can find on their Instagram, and I sent in an audition video which had to be between 3 and 5 minutes long for most acts, and I filmed it in my back garden. So yeah, anyone can apply. It is a very long audition process, but it is definitely worth it, so I would highly recommend. What made me want to go on Penn and Teller Fool Us? Great question. So here I have my notebook, which I write down all my goals in, no matter how big, small. I'll read you out a couple and I'll put up a photo here. So I have 1, learn how to drive, which I can do this year, which is amazing. Let me see, tour doing magic. I would love to do that when I'm older. Penn and Teller Fool Us before 2030. That is what I have written down here. And I sent this to Eric Leclerc, and he told me to be realistic. And I said to him I was. And he said to me, no, we're gonna be realistic, we will do it this year. So I have it ticked off on my bucket list, Penn and Teller done in 2024, which I will show you here. So yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to go on, because a lot of my idols had been on, and I just thought one day if I get good enough I can go on. And the fact that I got to send in an audition at 15 and go on at 16 is just crazy to me. What was it like meeting the legendary Penn and Teller in person? It was amazing. It was such a good experience, and it is something I will remember for the rest of my life. It was amazing. Why did I choose to go on is kind of the same question that's already been asked, but a very good question. And again, a lot of my idols have gone on it, but also this is a slightly different answer. When I was growing up, I never really had too many female magicians that I had easy access to see what they had done. And now that Penn and Teller is like such a big magic show, I find it so much easier to find female performers, but you have to do a lot of work to find them. And I just want to be that for someone else. I want to be that female magician, which I hate saying because we should all just be called magicians, full stop. But I want to be that person for someone else and show them that they can do it. And I've had a few young girls reach out to me and say they didn't think it was possible for a woman to go on Penn and Teller Fool Us, but now they think they could, and that just made me so happy and made the whole experience worth it for me. So yeah, very good question. You know when auditions come out because they post it on their Instagram, and you see the dates that you have to have your audition in before, and yeah, it's all up on their Instagram, Fool Us Casting, I think. Their email is fooluscasting@gmail.com. So here you go. Any particular act that will get you on or increase your odds? Very good question. For me, I think just being original. You see so many people go on and do your standard pick a card trick, you know? And someone who's done that really well this season, I have to give a big shout out, Liam Abner. He is amazing magician and just such a genuinely nice person. Go follow him, go check out his Fool Us video, it is amazing. But his was a card trick, it used playing cards, but it was to do with music. I'm in no way musically gifted, talented, whatever, so I can't fully explain it, but please go watch it. But I think last season they were asking for no card tricks because they had a lot already, but I think just being original and making it fun and exciting and doing something that's never been seen before is the way to go. But I would definitely send that application because, I mean, nothing to lose but everything to gain. That's the way I looked at it. So yeah, very good question. Speaking of Eric, he wrote in a question, did Teller talk to me? Now, I did ring Eric straight after I came off stage, which was very fun, and just getting to fill him in on everything, and I kept him updated with everything because he couldn't be there for the performance. But yes, Teller did talk to me. He came backstage after the show and shared some very kind words and words of encouragement, and also just some very nice pieces of advice and stuff going ahead in the industry, which was amazing. Favorite other contestant? Very good question. This season, there's so many who I met over there who I can't say because they haven't been aired yet. But Blake Voigt, Liam Abner, their acts have been amazing so far. And then overall, I have to give Eric's a shout out. His act was amazing and he helped me with my act, and I can never repay him for his kindness. It was an amazing act. And there's been so many amazing acts who've gone on. But yeah, they have been some of my favorites this season. How many ideas did I have before the final one? Very good question. So I had lots of ideas before the final one, and I had this notebook full of just brainstorm upon brainstorm of ideas, and I sent them to Eric. We picked the best one and the one that was most achievable in the time. But if I was to go on again, I have a really good act that I would love to do. It's never been done. I don't think the method is something that's ever been done either, which is really cool. But I just didn't have the resources at the time to do it. But who knows, maybe I might go back on someday. Does it give me more recognition? Really great question. Yes and no. So in school, people will know that I've done it, but you don't see people coming up to me on the street saying, oh my gosh, I've just seen you on Penn and Teller Fool Us, which I enjoy being able to like live my life that kind of way, which is really good. But then if I go to magic conventions. I went to Blackpool Magic Convention in February, and I had an awful lot of people coming up to me there, which was kind of surreal, and even to the point that there was people I was going up to looking to talk to them, and I was asking for a photo with them, and they stopped me and were like, "Wait, can I have a photo with you?" And I was a bit shocked, like, me? Why? You know? Which is really cool. So yes and no is the answer to that question. Okay, this question is from Brent Braun, who was over in America helping me with my act. Amazing, one of Eric's close friends. Amazing. Let's see his question. Who is the best magic consultant you've ever worked with other than Eric Leclerc? Very surprised I can read that without my glasses. Yeah, actually, Brent, I'm not 100% sure about that one. He's kind of like Batman, you know, he doesn't really sleep and all this. His name begins with B. I don't know if you know him. He's very good anyway, very funny, but he eats these things called biscuits and gravy, which I have no clue who came up with that, but I would not recommend. But yeah, I think his name's pronounced Brent. I don't know if you know him, but yeah, very good question. In case anyone thought I was joking, Brent was the magic consultant who helped me. Funny backstage stories. Yes, I have a few. I'll share a couple very quickly. We all had to get COVID tests before we went on stage. So me, Brent and Blake Voight were backstage getting our COVID test, which was just a funny scene altogether because I've seen Blake's performances on Penn Teller Fool Us, and I walked down and we were on the same day and he was like, "Oh hey Ella, how are you?" And I was just there shocked that he knew who I was, which was amazing. And Danny Garcia was there as well, which was crazy. After we got our COVID test, we had to wait for the results, so we were in a little kind of, you know, quarantine area, and I had lots of food and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I've never tried some of this." And Blake and Brent were shocked, so they literally grabbed all of the American sweets, gave them to me, and then Brent was like, "Oh, we'll be healthy, put a banana on top." So I'm walking out at 8 o'clock in the morning with all these sweets in my arms, which was just a very funny scene. We had to get our makeup done backstage, which was so funny, just because I didn't expect to have like a makeup artist. I don't know, I think that was just me not expecting that. I think everyone else did. And Blake came back and was like, "Guys, it's still me, it's Blake," after he got his makeup done, which was so funny. And it made me feel a lot better because they put an awful lot of makeup on me. And in fairness, I was like, that is a lot of makeup. I don't know if I'll, you know, need it on the stage, but it came across really well in the recording, which was very good. So yeah, there's a few short stories that were really funny. Would I ever go on again if I had the chance? The answer is yes, I would. It was an amazing experience. Really stressful, but really fun at the same time. And I made lots of fun memories as well. I wouldn't necessarily go on and do what I did. If I was to go on again, I would do the act that I kind of have in my head now, which I think is really cool. But who knows, maybe I'll go back on at some point. How does it feel to have been on TV, and did I face any fears? So yes, it feels amazing to have been on TV. I was watching it at home when it came out. It was at like 3 in the morning our time. We all got up to watch it and we came downstairs and sat on the couch, so groggy from just getting up. And it was just crazy to see how long of a process it was finally come together, which was amazing. And did I face any fears? Yes, I did. So I'm not the most extroverted person. Me performing, even this now, this is me being really bubbly and everything for the camera. And normally I'm a lot more quiet, down to earth, and I have my moments that I get really excited. So I was just afraid that I would come across too boring on stage. So I really tried to like keep myself lively on the stage. But yeah, I hope I didn't come across too boring. But yes, very good questions. Next question, are the producers magicians? Very good question, and the answer is yes, some of them are. There are some producers who are there purely for, you know, what it's going to look like on the screen, some for like how you're going to sit on the stage or stand on the stage. So there's different ones for different things. But yes, there are some magic consultant producers there who give you some advice on your trick, which is amazing. And yes, they do have to know the method of the trick. Okay, most exciting part of the trip bar the performance. Really good question. I would probably say going to see Matt Franco's show. It was amazing. I've always wanted to see him perform, and I'd said it to Eric and the ones backstage that I was going to see him the day after I filmed my episode. And they had all come together, messaged Matt and got me to meet him after the show. And I didn't know. And I arrived to the theatre and I get a tap on my shoulder and asked, "Am I Ella Nicholson?" I said yes. And they said, "Matt wants to see you after the show." And I got to meet him and all this, which was amazing, super fun, and it was just overall a really great experience and great night, and Matt was amazing. Would I have chosen to do a different act if I could have still gone on and not full time? Very great question, and the answer to that is yes. I would have done a different act. My act I have still in my head, I've never performed it, was amazing. I just did not have the resources to do it, and over there it would have been a lot of work the morning of, and I just don't think I could have dealt with that stress. But yes, I think it would have been an amazing performance if I got to do that act. But maybe I'll go on sometime in the future and do it, you never know. How many times did I have to do rehearsal? Very good question. So the morning of was the first time I got to practice my whole act with everything running at the same time, which was really stressful, but you are constantly practicing in the hotel room beforehand. So yes, morning of was my very first full run-through rehearsal, which was super scary. So how much input from others did I have coming up with my act? I had a lot of input from Eric Leclerc on when I had an idea on what to do, and we had both brainstormed ideas on, say, making it run smoother, or is there anything we could add to make it funnier, all this kind of stuff. So Eric Leclerc was definitely a big influence in creating the act and a big help, so genuinely cannot thank him enough. And then Brent Braun, who is a magic consultant who was working with me while I was over there. He had a lot of influence in how I performed stuff over there, even for the introduction package, like this trick here. He helped me come up with a handling for a couple of the tricks, and especially that one. What made me want to go on Fool Us? I answered this earlier on, but I will just go over it again. Definitely, what made me want to go on Fool Us? I think just, it sounds cringy, but definitely inspiring other girls that they can do it. And I know a lot of men will disagree with what I'm saying, and that is okay. You are entitled to your own opinion. But unless you're in someone's shoes, I don't think you have the right to comment on how I feel when I'm saying this. When I grew up, I had a lot of negative comments from older male magicians, and I just think that not having anyone to talk to about it or contact who's a female magician, I hate saying it, but it's the only way you'll understand what I'm saying. I feel like not being able to talk to any of them and share experiences really didn't help, and I want to be there for all the young girls coming into the magic industry, because there's so many I met in Blackpool who are amazing magicians, and I feel like they should be shown on the big screen as well, because they deserve the screen time and to inspire other people, which is kind of why I wanted to be on Fool Us. What is it like hearing Teller talk? It is amazing. He is so soft-spoken and charming, caring, and he's genuinely such a nice guy. He had said he was trying to come up with an act to do with potatoes, Mr. Potato Head, using foam potatoes, all of this, for a couple of years now, and I bet him to it and did it better than he ever could, which was just such a nice compliment. And he shared a few other things, but I will keep them to myself, and it was just amazing. If you watched this video to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really want to do this magic thing full time, so lots more videos coming soon, and I can't wait for you to see them.